Welcome, everyone, to episode 39 of Disney with the Ducks, coming to you from Duck Studios around the country. I'm your host for tonight, Krull, and I've got a lot of great co-hosts with me. Carly and Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
Lonnie G.
Hey, everybody.
And Mean Gene.
Howdy.
Hey, guys. So tonight, before we get into the topic of what we're going to talk about, wanted to ask you guys a question. Who is your favorite superhero? Start with Gene.
Ready.
Yeah, so while I'm a big Marvel fan as an adult, as a kid, I only really read DC Comics, and I liked all the DC superheroes, but Superman, one of my favorites, but my ultimate favorite has always been Batman. And I'm Vengeance. Batman, Creature of the Night. Not campy 60s TV show Batman, which I did like that as a kid, but like the Dark Knight, only comes out at night, beat the crap out of some hoodlums. Injustice and all that.
Not to rain on your parade, Gene, but is Batman really a superhero? He's really just like a normal person with multiple toys.
He's just a hero, and that's why
right?
I like him, because he is just the ultimate, human specimen. He's just made himself into he didn't kill. I was going to say a killing tool, but no, a tool of vengeance and justice. Yep.
Is money his superpower?
Yes.
And it just depends. I mean, on Batman v Superman, he turned into a CrossFit Batman. You remember that to work out,
yep.
flipping tires and all that. Exactly.
Sure. So. CrossFit Batman. I like that.
All right, Lonnie, what about you? Who's your favorite superhero?
Man, that's a tough one. Do love Marvel. So I'm gonna stick with Marvel. I'm gonna say Black Panther.
Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jeff and Jeff, let's go to you first.
I didn't grow up in the 50s, so I didn't have the original Batman to look up to like Gene did.
Oh my God.
Dude, so wait, have you seen it though? It's awesome with Adam West.
I did.
It's really good. I love it.
No, you mean the original, like from the 40s cereal, don't you? Have
you
ever seen that?
No.
That's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible.
Okay.
But I grew up as a child of the 90s, so I grew up watching a lot of the X-Men cartoons. So somebody in the X-Men series would have to be my favorite.
Just somebody.
I like Cyclops a lot, but everybody likes Scott Summers. So I'm going to go with Logan and Wolverine as probably my favorite superhero.
Can you say that Wolverine is your favorite one more time?
The Wolverine character, Logan, is my favorite.
Thought I was going to get you there.
No.
Not Michigan.
No, Logan is my favorite.
You were so close, John. It was so close.
I really thought it was going to happen. All right, Carly, who's your favorite superhero?
Okay, so I've never really been into superheroes. Big surprise. But I would have to say, since Riley's been born and she's been making me watch all of these Marvel and superhero DC shows, I almost said Gal Gadot, and that really could be it. But Wonder Woman. But really Gal Gadot, because she's beautiful. But Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she is. But the thing with her too is, like, I feel like she really is Wonder Woman. I think they did a great job of that casting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was a really good choice.
And girl power. Hello. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
How about you, John?
All right. So I was always a Batman fan growing up, but I was also a Spider-Man fan. So I'm torn between those two. And I think I got to go with Spider-Man. I think he's such a cool role model, I guess, for like teenagers and stuff, because he's a high school kid and he ends up getting these powers and he really just takes all that responsibility on. He could have just kept going with his life, but he didn't. And he's just funny. I mean, especially the Tom Holland version, that he is such a perfect actor for him. So Spider-Man's my favorite, but I could go with Batman or also Jeff. I was a huge fan of that 90s X-Men too. So I like Gambit and Wolverine. So Gambit's kind of one of those. Where's he from? Like, is he from Louisiana?
Yeah,
he's from Louisiana.
Okay,
he's from Louisiana, the Bayou, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's fun. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Wait, so Tom Holland is your favorite Spider-Man?
Yeah, he is. And I think it's because I love those movies so much. And you know what? As we get into our discussion for tonight, we'll talk about what our favorite Marvel movies are, and we can discuss Tom Holland and probably Zendaya a little bit more. So that's our topic for tonight. Is we're going to go through and tell everybody our 3 favorite Marvel movies. I'm sure some of us, Carly, will stretch the rules, but that's fine. We expect that. And then we'll give you some that we think are underrated too. So hopefully we have a good discussion about all of the Marvel movies. I think Lonnie, pre-show, you mentioned there are 37 different Marvel MCU movies and series combined.
Yes.
That's an insane number. So we're trying to boil it down to our favorite, less than 10% of the movies that are out there. So let's get into it. Jeff, do you want to start us off with your number 3 Marvel movie?
My number 3 Marvel movie is going to be Spider-Man, but I am going to the original first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I like the Tobey Maguire's better than the other ones.
We're already breaking the rules here.
Spider-Man.
So it's not really breaking the rules. It's still a Marvel movie. Gene, you're muted. So whatever you were yelling at me for, we never heard.
I said you're breaking the rules. That's not Marvel. That's not me.
But it is Marvel, Gene.
He got brought into the new movie. In the newest Spider-Man,
Marvel.
they brought in Tobey Maguire, so he is part of the MCU now.
Objection.
Overruled.
Sustained.
Oh man, thought that was going to work too.
So
Jeff, you
I'm
got the
going for
best of me twice now.
I'm going for the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
As my number 3.
I disagree, but that's okay. Carly, what's
Oh
your
my
number
gosh, you guys are going to say that I'm stretching the rules. And I really was trying to play within the framework today, but I said Venom. But now you guys are going to say that's a Sony Marvel movie.
And it's not part of the MCU.
It's not part
It
of
is
the
now.
That movie.
I don't know
But-
what those movies are, but the character is. I don't know. And that hasn't
Yeah.
been
No.
determined.
We should have put more rules and guidelines
We
around
probably-
it.
we
But,
probably should
but
have.
we will allow it because even though it's not counted in the 37, he literally was in, right? He's being brought back in.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Carly gets it.
We're good. We're allowing Venom. I think like
Fine.
the CGI Venom and the actor who I honest to goodness don't even remember his character's
Holland?
name. No.
Oh, you know him. You're like I know Tom Holland.
But I think they do such a great job of playing back and forth that there's a lot of humor and sarcasm, and it's just enough borderline adult humor that I don't feel like a bad parent showing it in the house. It's definitely, nowhere near Deadpool, but I just love the humor of it. And we have arguments in my house all the time about whether Venom is a good guy or a bad guy. And I think he's a good guy. And so
Carly, is it Venom the original or part 2?
the original.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Part
I mean,
two.
I like them both. I really did, but I just wanted to see which one you like.
Yes.
And Venom is a bad guy.
Then no, he's good. He eats bad people.
He's kind of an anti-hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's bad, good, bad.
Right.
He's like Black Adam.
Or
I haven't
Loki.
seen that yet.
Or
No
Loki.
spoilers.
Yeah. Loki too, yeah, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Gene. What do you got for your 3rd favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie?
This is so difficult. This might be the hardest show I've ever done because I love all these movies so much. If you ask me what's my bottom third, I don't know if I can answer that, and I'm not even saying it right. But let's say Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that movie. It's so good. It's so funny. I knew nothing of the Guardians before that movie, and I really did. At that point, I was not, I guess, maybe not as much a believer in Marvel as I am now, because I was like, this is the dumbest. Who's ever even heard of these people? This would be terrible. And maybe not terrible, but it can't be that good. And Marvel showed me that they took chicken doo-doo and made chicken salad. I don't know how you want to say it. No, not really. But they took an unknown, to me anyway, to a lot of people, group, and they made them relevant. They made them funny. They made them, they made them good. I watched that movie over and over and over again. It's such a great movie.
Which one? One or two? I think we need to specify.
Well,
Original Guardians?
I'm saying the original, but 2 is, I mean, as good. I mean, it's both great. I can't wait for the holiday special or Christmas special or whatever they're
Oh, I
calling it.
know
It's going
that
to
was
be
so
amazing.
good.
The Guardians movie brought in such great music. It
Mhm.
tied in. That was actually the first Marvel movie I think we watched, and we went back and picked up the ones prior to that. And
That's not true.
I think it is,
That's not
That's not true. I object.
but
true. I do.
I knew nothing, like you said, of who the characters they are, but they've played such an integral role to the whole first couple phases of this, and
Mhm.
now they're some of the most beloved characters inside there. So
Well, right.
And since if I thought about it, I could tell you which movie. But since the interaction between Thor and Peter Quill, hilarious.
Two.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
yep.
When he
So
calls
good.
him Angel Pirate Baby. Oh,
And I think it's amazing that you have a character like Groot who literally says one word, but the way that he presents that one word every time, like there is so much depth to it. It's phenomenal.
He actually says 3 words.
Sorry, I am Groot.
It's
Okay.
kind of like Lonnie and I and dude.
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 Or my kids with bruh.
Brrr.
Or now the slay.
Huh?
Slay.
Really?
I don't know. Apparently that's a new thing, but we don't need to
So
get into
what I've
the-
noticed is period. My daughter says that somebody says something for her to emphasize. It's just like period.
Oh,
Yeah,
Huh.
we
that means-
verbalize our punctuation now.
Wow.
for sure.
And
Oh my
you
gosh,
should
if
say
people
you should
start-
say exclamation
Exclamation
point.
point. Semicolon.
Right? When people start saying semicolon like out loud, I'm just gonna lose it. That's my favorite punctuation ever.
Ellipses.
Ellipsis.
That's
Okay.
my second favorite punctuation.
Ellipsis sounds like a weapon from outer space. And let's get back to talking about some of our Marvel movies. That they have characters from outer space. Lonnie, so
Yes.
what's your third favorite Marvel movie?
My third favorite movie is Spider-Man No Way Home. Kind of lined up with John. I think he's a great Spider-Man. I think that one just has a lot of heart to it. It brings in the other Spider-Man as well, Andrew Garfield. Look, I like the Amazing Spider-Man. I know some people didn't, but I think what this movie proves is that he should get a third movie, right? So look, I think it was the perfect Spider-Man. 3 Spider-Mans teaming up against the villains, all the best villains. I think it was the perfect Spider-Man.
I would not disagree.
Thank you.
I loved in that movie that they actually discussed whether it was Spider-Men or Spider-Mans, and I thought that was important.
That
Spider-Man's
is
No. There's so many reasons no.
John, what about you, man? What is your favorite?
Okay,
third favorite Marvel movie?
you picked one of the Spider-Man movies. I'm gonna pick another one. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought it was a little bit more lighthearted and just fun. The other two were great too, but for some reason I just really liked that. And it might be because it was Tom Holland's first movie as Spider-Man, and then I really liked Zendaya as an actress too, and I thought she plays her role perfectly. His friend coming along with him and everything. I love that movie so much. So I'm gonna go with that one. But yeah, the other two, it's hard to pick. I almost wanted to pull the Gene and just say the Spider-Man movies. And
I
then,
did not do that.
horror
I did not
movies.
do that. I said Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, this time you didn't.
Oh, okay.
This time.
Okay.
I know, John, you know what? I
Maybe
think you're
I've
right,
done that
man.
before.
I struggled too because I literally liked all 3 of them. I watched the
Yeah.
second one on time too when they were in Europe, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you can go with all those movies, but I just think No Way Home just puts the period on those 3 groups of movies.
I
Nice.
see what you did there.
See that?
All right, so we're down to our top 2 at this point. You guys ready for this?
It's tough.
This is where it starts getting really tough. Yeah.
Right?
It does.
I've been sweating. a bit.
Yeah.
Rubber meets the road.
I'm already planning how I'm going to cheat to add in an addition. So, don't worry. I got it covered. All right. Let's see. Let's go with Gene.
Man, I don't even. It's hard. It's so
He's
hard.
tearing up there. I saw it.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Endgame as my number 2.
Okay.
I think that probably you could just put all of my choices or probably most of the Marvel movies except for the terrible ones, in a box, shake them up, and just pull them out in any order. And I would say, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's there's so many good things. I love them going back to the previous movies, and just that whole storyline it's just so good, you know. And the battle scene at the end where everybody shows up, everybody you know, re-snaps. That's not it. Whatever you call it when they come back. Such a great movie.
Yes.
I think it was an unsnap. What did they call it?
Unsnap. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was I still think that's probably my favorite scene in any movie ever. When, you know, Captain America, when the Falcon comes flying out, and, you know, he's like, on your left. It's just, you can't get much better than that in a movie. And honestly, you can't get any better than Endgame. I don't think.
So and also
Perfect.
I mean the best scene in the movie, I'm not even mentioning it, is whenever Tony Stark is wearing the Infinity Gauntlet and he says, "I am Iron Man." He snaps, and so great.
So I've
got chills just
so
thinking about
many.
it.
Yeah, I've never seen so many grown men crying in the theater when
I didn't cry.
Tony Stark died. And, you know, we got
Gene didn't cry. It was just very
did too.
dusty in there. You know how much dust they have in the movie theater?
Man.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
cold and flu season, man.
I was so emotional the last half hour of that movie because it was that part, Gene. Like when he did that was amazing. Tom Holland's like holding him as he dies.
Yep.
Not Tom Holland. You know, well, the actor, but Spider-Man. And then you've got the scene with his funeral and his daughter, and with
I Love You 3000.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Man,
it's like,
I don't know why you guys believe
Cry
John.
again.
John didn't cry because of that. He cried because Thanos got dusted. That's the reason why he was crying. We know he really cried. He was like, Thanos.
You're right. I mean, I got my Thanos poster right behind me, so
that's why he was. That's why he cried.
I do love that man. He is my favorite superhero. I should have said him actually.
John's man crushes Thanos. That's great.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, I think that's a good choice. Okay, so Gene just went. So now let's go to Lonnie.
You know, it's a hard one, but I'm gonna go with Gene's third choice. I'm gonna go with the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
That is also my number.
I think Gene hit the he said everything he said. Yeah. That's what I like about it.
Ditto.
That's also my number 2 as well.
Really?
Boom.
Yep.
Well,
Carly, what about you?
I said Doctor Strange. I absolutely adore Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, he's cute, but I also think he's a great actor.
Great.
I love
Wong.
Everybody loves Wong. Everybody loves Wong.
Okay, so Carly, which one of the Guardians? Oh,
Doctor Strange one.
Okay.
The first one.
Okay.
I don't know. It was different. We saw it in the theater, and just the cinematography of it, I thought was incredible. I felt like there were almost points where I was dizzy watching all of the different movements on the different buildings. I felt like every actor and actress in that movie was top notch, perfectly casted. And again, Benedict Cumberbatch is hot. So, yep.
Jeff's right there. He's right there.
I know. He's right there. You're not even considering Benedict Cumberbatch's feelings or his inside, you know. What about John? Jeff already said his.
Yeah, John, what about you? What's your favorite Marvel, or your second favorite one, John?
Many of them. I'm going to go with Guardians Volume 2. I just thought it was funnier to me than the first one, but I love both of them. And Gene, what you said earlier, nobody knew who these guys were. Now I love Star-Lord and Raccoon.
I know, right?
You know, Rocket. I cannot think tonight. This is
Trash
throwing me
Panda.
off on a weeknight. Yeah. Trash Panda, exactly. So that's mine. Moving on to the number one most favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie for each of you. So
I think it's going to probably be a unanimous vote, isn't it? I think.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think so because
I don't know what y'all's is going to be.
Oh.
I know where
all
Lonnie's
right.
going.
So, Lonnie, why don't you reveal your number one overall pick?
Come on, bro.
Bro.
Wakanda Wakanda forever, man. Black Panther.
It hasn't even come out yet.
What?
You said Wakanda forever. It hasn't even come out yet.
Oh,
Not the movie. I just said Wakanda forever. Black Panther is the #1 movie.
I need you to be a little bit more precise in the way you talk about this
Okay.
stuff.
You,
Could be
you know,
very
Gene,
confusing.
you're absolutely right. Feedback, right? And coaching is a gift. I accept your gift. So my #1
Feedback
is
is a
Black
gift, for
Panther.
sure.
Black Panther that was released in 2018.
That's very specific.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want there to be any confusion here.
No, that's a good point, Gene. I love Black Panther too. It's one of those movies you can watch over and over again, and I don't think it ever gets old. And I really want to go to Wakanda, so they need to bring that to Animal Kingdom.
They need to.
Yes.
Instead of Zootopia. I mean, that's just a waste.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like both. Let's take both. All right. So, Jeff, what about you? #1.
#1 has to be the original Iron Man. It is the
Oh.
one that set off the whole thing. I told you this from the beginning.
You stole mine.
I didn't.
We've got two people with the original Iron Man.
Yes.
It is the movie that set it all off. It got the series started. Robert Downey Jr. was fantastic in that role. Just without that original Iron Man, you wouldn't have the rest of your movies setting up. The fact that they built so much into that first movie that came back for the next 37 movies. I mean, there's references to that first movie or all those other movies inside that first movie that you had no idea what was coming whenever that came out. So I would have to say the original Iron Man has to be the #1.
That is really surprising to me that you picked that, but it makes perfect sense. And it is such a good movie. I mean, I loved all three of them. Iron Man's movies are amazing.
Right. Tony Stark is like the best. I love his snarky, sarcastic personality. He's got that like dark, kind of flat sense of humor. I think he's great. I love Gwyneth Paltrow in that movie. It's just very smart. It feels very intelligent, and the storyline fits, and it does like feed all the way through. And then whenever you end with "We love you 3000" movies and movies and movies later, like if I'm sitting there in a theater crying, like sobbing out loud over a character, I've clearly fallen in love with him. And yes, Robert Downey Jr., I have fallen in love with you. Sorry, Jeff.
Wow.
I mean, there are
It's
worse
right
guys
there.
out there, Jeff, for her to leave you for. So
I have never felt so inadequate on a podcast than I have tonight.
Get used to disappointment.
Do you remember whenever Ricky Bobby's wife did the Walk of Shame?
no.
No.
In Talladega Nights?
No, in Iron Man.
Oh, Ricky Bobby.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's like a reporter or something. I don't know.
Oh, you mean the actress that played?
Like in the first 10 minutes,
Oh.
she did the Walk of Shame.
Oh,
Yeah,
You know, I think that- Mhm.
right by Pepper Potts.
Oh, she was the reporter lady.
yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think the Iron Man series are really good. I think there was it went down in 2. I didn't like 2 as much, but I loved 3. Right, so 3 was one of those ones that was right there that I was thinking, could I put it in my top 3? But overall, man, I love that series. It's just,
So,
And it's just another example of Marvel having the perfect casting for a role. I mean, it seems like every person in every movie is the best person in the world to play that role. So it's amazing that they're able to keep doing that.
well, and he seems so like rough exterior, but then and like playboy and kind of obnoxious. But then the further into the movie you go, the more you realize he's kind of a softie and very sweet. And like throughout the rest of the Marvel universe, he gets very close with Spider-Man, and that's such like a cute mentorship relationship. I love it.
Yeah. So great choice, guys. Surprising, but amazing. All right. So Lonnie gave us his, Jeff and Carly. Gene, what's your #1 favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah, so I would tell you that it's because of when it happened and how it happened. Captain America: The First Avenger. I love the movie. I can watch it again and again and again. Because of when it happened, when it was introducing Captain America. I always loved that hero, and I think I almost said Chris Pine. Not that Chris. The other Chris.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. No, not that one.
Chris
The other
Evans.
Chris.
Just keep naming them. Just keep naming them.
Chris's.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris
Yeah,
Jones.
exactly.
Just names a bunch of them.
Chris Jones actually is one of our followers in the flock, so that's my friend. But anyway, Chris Evans is my friend too. He's such perfect casting. I was a little concerned because he was Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, but he put on a little weight, took a little super soldier serum, it worked out.
It did
Great
work
movie.
out.
And
Awesome.
that's another one that, like, the love story in there is so cute.
And then that's
And it
another one
comes
too,
full
that they
circle.
closed. Yeah, they closed that loop at the end,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, circle of life.
All right, John, what's yours?
Okay, so mine is a beautiful, almost 7-hour movie that they just released half of it at one time and half at the other to give the audience a little bit of intermission.
No,
Much,
sir.
no,
sir.
much,
No, sir.
much
No,
like when
sir.
you go to the
No, sir.
theater, you
No,
have
sir.
a break to go. You use the restroom,
Pause.
you get a drink.
Somebody
A year-long
Pause.
intermission.
So I'm going with Infinity War and Endgame as a single entity because I could not choose. Infinity War reminds me a lot of Guardians 2 with the type of humor and stuff that's in it. And I love that movie. But for the last 45 minutes or half hour of Endgame possibly being like my all-time favorite entertainment of any type, like music, TV, I couldn't break them up. So I'm going to fully cheat and just combine them into a long movie and say those are my favorite movie ever of any type, I think.
You gave Carly so much slack when we started about her cheating, and you just went, you just laying the groundwork so that you can.
I had this plan since whatever
done,
day
sir.
last week we decided to record this. So
well done, sir. Well done.
And
That's
honestly, I could have put any other movie in the top 3 as well. So, but that's one thing I want to talk about a little bit more next is, so we've talked about our favorites, but there's so many Marvel movies that there's bound to be some that just don't get the love that we think they deserve. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the Marvel films we think aren't getting the love that they really should get, that are super underrated. So Jeff, let's start with you. What's one of them that you think is just way underrated?
I like the Ant-Man movies. The first Ant-Man, I think that is a very underrated movie. He doesn't have the huge impact in the movies that the other ones do. His superpower is okay, but not fantastic comparatively. But I think just the whole, I'm a thief going into being a superhero, turning into an Avenger, his comic relief to the whole thing, he's just kind of, he brings that extra, I'm not really the superhero kind of guy, but I'm still here with everybody else anyway. I think the Ant-Man movies are underrated. And I'm excited for the new one coming out in February.
That's what I was going to have too, is one of the ones I was thinking, because like you said that, and then Paul Rudd, again, another perfect casting. Like that dude, plus I have a bit of a man crush on him. So anything that guy's in, I'm going to absolutely love, because he's just a fun actor. But yeah, that's a really good one, Jeff. Mostly because I was going to say it. So all right, let's go to Carly.
I'm going to say Black Widow. I love Natasha Romanoff. I love her sister is introduced in this, and she is trying to keep my PG-13 rating. A boss babe. We'll go with that. I didn't realize until I looked up the cast again that Hopper from Stranger Things is in there, and I
he's
love him.
Red
Dawn.
Yeah, I don't feel like Red Dawn, Red Gordon.
The original.
Yeah, of course.
I don't feel like this movie gets a whole lot of love, and I don't.
I love it.
I think
I really like it a lot.
I do too.
Movie.
It's another one that I think was really smart. Like the storyline is very well put together and twists and turns, and I liked it.
I really love that character. Black Widow is, I mean, I could say, bring up any Avenger, I'll say, oh, that's one of my favorite Avengers. I mean, she is, she's just a good character.
Yeah. And well, I think with that one, what hurt it too was that came straight to Disney Plus, right? There was no theater release or theatrical release,
Yeah.
and those always seem to get more love and more attention and that type of thing. So that definitely didn't help.
Yeah.
But it's a fun movie. I loved it. It's entertaining.
Nope.
It's like you said, it's smart, and Scarlett Johansson is a very talented actress. So
And beautiful.
oh, really? She
Well,
is.
there's
I
that.
know. I bet you didn't notice it because you were just
Oh.
so intrigued by her acting skills.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But yes.
All right. Okay, so Lonnie, what about you? What do you think's underrated?
Well, I follow the assignments. I don't try to group a bunch of movies together like Jeff did when he said the Ant-Man movies. He said it. I actually put the Ant-Man and Wasp as an underrated movie. I think it was a really good mix of the comedy, taking his story to the next level, right? Introducing the quantum realm in that one as well, a little bit more. And to Jeff's point, though, he makes a very good point. Just really looking forward to the next movie. My only concern about the movie is that his best friend, who really makes the movie, I don't know how they're going to put him in there if they're in the quantum realm the whole time. So, but looking forward to seeing Kang the Conqueror too.
Right.
So,
yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's like I said when Jeff said his, I was thinking both of them as well, but yeah, the Wasp one probably gets even less attention, I guess, than the first one. And it was a solid movie. And I like the Wasp character a lot too. I mean, she brings a lot to that storyline.
They make a good team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Gene, what Marvel movie needs a little bit more love?
Yeah, so look, I'm not trying to throw shade, Jeff, but you earlier said that Iron Man kicked off the MCU, and I can see why you say that and think that. But in reality, the very first MCU movie was the Hulk. And
no, you can't go to.
No, it is actually considered part of the MCU.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And I actually went back and watched it just recently, and I think it is severely underrated. I went back to see it because I went back and watched it because of Abomination in She-Hulk, and I just wanted to. So I don't exactly know why it didn't work out with Ed Norton. I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, but it's still a solid movie. And if we wouldn't have had that movie, I don't, after two failed Hulks, I don't know that we would have been able to move forward with the rest of the MCU. And so, I do understand, really and truly, Iron Man is the big phenomenon that happened, but the Hulk was first, and it was sort of the quiet opening,
Ed Norton was such a horrible Hulk, though. It was real bad.
Mark Ruffalo's a lot better. They made a good decision.
But I mean, just watch it if you watch it again. I'm not saying you have to. You can do whatever you want, Jeff, or whatever Carly tells you to do. But if you watch it for what it is, I try to watch things for what they are and the time that it was made. And I really enjoyed seeing him on the run, seeing what he, kind of. We didn't have really like an origin story like you do with a lot of these superhero movies. It kind of started. You had kind of a cold open sort of where he's on the run and somebody finds out about him and it's just for what it's worth, for what it was. I think it's a good movie. I think it's underrated. Yeah. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to disagree with Jeff on one thing. I think Ed Norton on that one was a really good Hulk. He really played Bruce Banner well on that one. I mean, if you think about it and you look at it, to Gene's point, that was the second Hulk movie, right? The first one was really CGI heavy. I mean, when he's fighting three dogs
Eric
that they made.
Bana.
Yeah, Eric Bana. He wasn't a good Hulk, but I think coming from him to Ed did a good job, and I think he carried that film. And I was at first skeptical when they actually said they were introducing a new Hulk or a new person, a new Bruce Banner. It's just that he did a great job at it. I don't think, he made it more, he owned that role as compared to with Ed. I don't know what happened with Ed. It's crazy. It's kind of like we don't know what happened with Terrence Howard and why he didn't, he missed out after going forward in Iron Man, right? He was supposed to be the War Machine. So they just do it, I think. But their casting has been spot on.
Yep. All right. Good choice. Okay, so
He
what?
did.
Did you do yours?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
No, not
Oh,
yet.
No,
I thought-
I agreed with you that the Ant-Man movies, plural,
Look
are
at
very
it.
underrated.
I think you're
Um,
cheating again.
Yes. So since Jeff said that, and then Lonnie, you said the Ant-Man and Wasp, I'm gonna go with Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. I just think it was a great movie. The action in it was unbelievable. I love the storyline, like some of the fight scenes at the end. It's just, I don't know, it was so good. And then with the majority of the cast being Asian, it brings some more diversity into the mix. So some of that inclusivity and stuff like that they're showing kids that look like that, or have heroes that look like them, right? So I always think that's a good thing. What? Yeah, it's fun. It is funny.
I will say this was one that, so I might offend people here with my with my view. Like, I don't like change, and we had the original Avengers. So ever since that storyline wrapped up, I'm like, do I really want to look at more?
You want to invest in these other people?
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot. And I know there's going to be a lot more. And so every time a new character comes out, because I've never been a comic book person, but when these new characters come out, I'm like, do I really want to watch that? But I did watch it because my family is super Marvel-y. And I liked it a lot. I thought it was a really fun story. And I thought that just it was a new superhero style that we hadn't seen before. Like these rings make it kind of cool. I really liked it.
And they had a Wong on it too.
Fighting, man. Yeah, Wong was on it. Mm-hmm.
They had a Wong on it.
Yeah, and we love all the Wongs, but especially that one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
He's better with
that was I really do like that movie too, John. I think that's a good one that you chose. It really should get more love than it gets, but
yeah.
Good.
And honestly, I think it too, like, I didn't have very high expectations for it because I just didn't know anything about the character. I didn't know anything about the plot of the movie. So I had very low expectations. And of course, that's easy to exceed. But then I watched it a second time and I still agreed that I thought it was amazing. So yeah, it's such a fun film. All right. So now we can talk about our least favorites. So if there's an MCU movie, you could just take it, lift it up, and throw it in the garbage can. What are you picking, Lonnie?
Eternals would be the easy one to pick because you all know Eternals is a horrible movie. But I'm not going to steal John's thunder because I know he hates that one even more. So I'm going to give one that's going to drive Carly, and that is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, dang, man.
I think that's kind of they had a very good concept that it's kind of went about 30 minutes into it, just kind of went down.
I had no idea what the heck was going on the entire movie. I was just lost. I mean, it looked awesome, but like I just couldn't follow it.
I felt like maybe I was too dumb to follow it. But I've heard the same thing from a lot of people. I think there are a lot of plot holes in it. And as much as I love Doctor Strange as a character and Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor, like, I totally agree with you, Lonnie. It's not the best.
Yeah.
And
Eternal still sucks.
Terrible movie. Never should have been made. Waste of. I didn't even pay to go see it, and we watched it at home on Disney Plus, and I still thought it was a complete waste of time and a terrible value. I didn't know. I didn't like any of the new characters. Nothing about it like drew you in. It's just there was. At most movies, you can find one thing that you're like, oh, that was really cool. That movie, nothing.
Yeah. I will say it's not very memorable because I really couldn't tell you what happened in it now, but it's been a while since I saw it. But I do remember leaving the theater, and Briley and I both liked it and Jeff hated it. So I remember defending it and its honor, but now it's really just not that important.
I would love to hear how you try to defend that. I mean, Angelina Jolie couldn't carry that movie and save it. I mean, and that's Angelina Jolie.
That's a true story.
And Elaine Bennis.
Yeah. They can't save it. No one can. Abandon all hope.
Right.
Well, just like Elaine did to that marathon runner, she also couldn't save this movie.
Right.
You know how she let him sleep through the marathon?
Yep, the AM PM. I know.
No, yeah. I thought that was funny back when I saw it as a kid. Now I really get it. But that's another story. All right. So we got Lonnie's. We got mine, obviously, because I went off on a tangent there. Gene, what's yours?
It's difficult for me because I mean, as I even went through the list of all the movies to see if I could, come up with something that was different, but I can't because the movies are so great. I mean, mine are the two that have been mentioned: The Eternals and Multiverse of Madness. And I would say Multiverse of Madness at least had Wanda. It had that redeem because I like that character. I like Elizabeth Olsen. Again, it wasn't memorable. There was nothing. As I walked out of it, I said, I don't think I'll ever watch this again. And maybe I will. I don't think I'll ever watch Eternals again, though, ever.
I'm curious about how they're going to bring those characters forward in the future movies. Because, like I said, I just don't. Nobody ever says, oh, yeah, I loved that character. I don't even remember their names.
Icarus was
blue, red, green, yellow.
But I think they approved a part 2. I think I was reading some time ago.
No,
hopefully they don't. I really think
make
because
some X-Men movies.
But they will.
X-Men movies. Do something good with that. Do something to help humanity. Don't hurt us.
We don't need that kind of negativity put in the world. Okay. All right. I want to save Carly for last. Jeff, what's your least favorite?
My least favorite is the Thor Guns N' Roses music video. Or what was it? Thor Love and Thunder?
The 3-hour
and Thunder.
That's pretty bad too, though. That's pretty bad.
No, it was just a nonstop advertisement for Guns. I like Guns N' Roses, but that movie was just a nonstop advertisement for Guns N' Roses with too much graphic male nudity. And it was not cool.
I'll stop.
I beg to differ. I think there wasn't enough male nudity.
I like where you're
Jeff, I'm with you on that one, man. I mean, the only best thing about that movie was Natalie Portman as the Mighty Thor. I mean, if it wasn't for her, literally could have made a movie just with her and leave out. They killed the Thor myth and the character. I know it was a comedy, but how the mighty has fallen. I mean, you look at Thor 1.
There's no.
You look at
it was
funny. It was awesome.
You didn't like the screaming goats? You didn't think that was funny?
Okay, the screaming goats had me, but the rest of it, I was probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes in, and I was like, this might be the dumbest movie I've ever seen. And I just can't. They're going down a path I can't follow.
Maybe it's not Casablanca, but like it's just a fun movie. You're watching Thor beat up dudes. You got the mighty Thor, like you said, with Natalie Portman's character. She's out there fighting people.
If it wasn't for her, you take her out, this movie would have bombed. She saved that movie.
She should have her own movie. I'm a big Natalie Portman fan ever since like Garden State and those kind of movies. I just loved it. But that's neither here nor there. This movie was entertaining. Like I don't think it's the best movie in the world. I don't think the story was that great. But the bad guy, who I forget his name because I'm terrible with that stuff, but the main
God Butcher
villain, he was he was a good character. I liked all the jokes. I don't know, some of them were a little too cheesy.
They made him too stupid. Like the original Thor movie, he was a powerful Viking that just beat the crap out of people with all this action and adventure.
He was unaware of some Earth things, but he wasn't he puts me in the mind of a blonde Californian stereotypical surfer dude. Like,
Party Thor.
What? Like it irritates me.
Oh man,
I'd rather have the Avengers Thor than that Thor.
I'd rather have Thor that fought the Dark Elves. That was my favorite Thor.
Wow. So I could sit there and just listen to Guns N' Roses and be entertained for 2 hours, but you add all this other stuff with Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, you put them all out there, man.
Korg's
why don't you guys appreciate good art?
Then listen to the CD and watch a different movie.
Good one, Jeff. Good one.
Okay. Well, all right. We're going to go to Carly.
I don't think you guys are going to be happy with my...
I know. That's why I wanted to say that.
My ick is... I've tried no less than 3 times to make it through this movie, and I paid money to see it in the theater. I fell asleep. I've watched it on Disney Plus twice. I have fallen asleep. I hate it. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That is one of the best. I think that might be Katie, my wife's favorite movie ever.
And I feel like that's where Lonnie's leaving. He's like, oh, he's throwing furniture. Lonnie is literally throwing furniture.
How did you not
Don't
like
do it, Lonnie. It's a
Ragnarok?
rental.
I can't.
We're
This is
friends
where
from
Thor
work.
starts to go downhill, and they make him stupid. And it's so boring.
But it's got
and-
Jeff Goldblum in it.
Right? Exactly.
Jeff Goldblum
I don't like
Taika
Jeff.
Waititi.
Do not
Right.
like Jeff
Like
Goldblum.
finds a way.
The only saving grace out of the last two Thor movies, because it was Ragnarok and then Love and Thunder, right? Those have been the last two, is the extra Hemsworth brother and Matt Damon, who are playing Thor and Loki in the play within a
That was
movie.
really funny.
Yeah.
And
That
that's
was funny.
the only saving grace. The rest of it suck. No. Trash.
That's pretty funny.
Man, I'm speechless after that.
I am sorry. I
It's
will
almost
watch
un-American.
any of the Hemsworth brothers do pretty much anything.
Jeff, this
No.
is just not your night, is it, buddy?
Nope, Jeff,
But
you really you need
not
to.
these movies. Not these movies.
Invest in a long blonde wig or something. I don't know.
Yeah, paint some muscles on.
What do you mean?
You better get
One?
you better get a hammer.
Are you serious?
I think we had a really good discussion. Everybody knows that we tend to disagree sometimes with Carly, mostly. But I think it was a really good discussion about all the Marvel movies. And I think one of the themes that we talked about a lot through it is, the casting and stuff. We talked about a lot of the actors and how, Kevin Feige and his team picks the perfect person to play it. It's just something, I think that and the way they can weave a storyline through almost 40 different series or movies or whatever. That's pretty impressive to be able to keep that going for 20 years or whatever it's been now.
Can you imagine the string board he's got in his office with the little red string that attaches everything to it?
Oh, it's got to look.
And I think it's so stinking smart that they're sitting there with their string board and they've got this all planned out on diagrams, but all of us have to go back and rewatch these suckers like 4,000 times because you forget what's happened in the movies before, so you got to go back and rewatch them. They're just racking up all the money.
And I never had to watch an end scene of a credits before until these came out.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't even talk about that during this, but that's an amazing thing that they've added in where it's just cool because then you get kind of a sneak peek and you see people leaving in the theater and you just look at them like, bro.
And the
Right.
10 Rings one was really good. When Wong came to get him, and then he said, you got to get ready. It's like, and next thing you know, they, at the karaoke bar, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Am I the only one that saw that one?
No.
I probably have, but I can't remember details from movies ever.
No.
It's terrible.
No, there are so many.
I just remember because we were talking about Wong.
Yeah, we do all love Wong. All right.
No, speak for yourself.
I just don't have enough love for the whole Doctor Strange series. All right. Well, if you haven't cracked up enough so far, we're really going to quack you up with our Quacking Up with the Ducks segment. And we are going to start this with Carly.
Oh, okay. I found a duck theme joke. I'm so excited. What do mallards watch on TV? Documentaries.
Oh, nice.
Quack.
Jeff, can you top that one?
No.
Yeah, that's not going to be too hard there, John. What do you
Gets a little
get?
salty.
What do you get when you cross Captain America and the Incredible Hulk? A Star-Spangled Banner.
That
Oh.
was real, Matt. You got a real one.
That was good. I didn't get it. And then I did. But once I got
That
it,
makes it better.
was thinking. I'm sorry for anybody watching on YouTube. I'm like swaying back and forth this whole episode.
He's had to
Right.
pee for a long time.
Wow. All right, Gene, can you make us giggle a little bit more?
I don't think so because I don't really have a joke. I've been meaning to tell you about this. Lonnie and I, y'all know we went to a football game this weekend, and I don't even know what came over us, but we saw it was a Marvel calendar, and so we decided to steal it. We each got 6 months.
Oh, boy.
All kinds of legitimate laughs tonight. I like it.
Well, just wait. There's still one more. Okay. Why didn't the lifeguard save the hippie?
I don't know.
He was too far out, man. Penny laughs. I love it.
All right, Lonnie, what about you?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can follow all these good ones, but I got one. I got something. How do you pick up a country girl?
I don't know.
You attract her.
Oh boy. Well, thank you guys for bringing.
You guys are
some
the
good jokes.
worst. The worst.
No, the best. The best. All right. Well, everyone, if you've listened this long, thank you so much. We appreciate everybody who's part of our Disney with the Ducks group over on Facebook. And make sure you go and follow us on Facebook and join that group. And you can also follow us on Instagram. We're on Twitter. And we're on TikTok. So come follow us on any of the social media platforms. And while you're at it, please try to leave us a review. 5 stars are appreciated, but that'll help others find us and draw more people into our flock. And if there's something you don't like, I can't imagine what that is. But we can look into removing that person who rhymes with Jeff. But anyway, so please leave us a review if you can. We appreciate all of you, and Kwaharini.
Bye, guys.
Laugh it up, Buzzball.
Peace out. I didn't bully into him. We were just talking.
Bully.
I don't bully Gene into doing anything.
What? I mean, really? Come on. What do you guys think?
You guys know how many movies and series Marvel has overall?
I think it's like 30, 39?
37.
37.
That's impressive.
You just
That
dropping
is
knowledge? Is that what you're doing today?
Witness the street knowledge.
The scenes with his girlfriend dying in the car accident, like on point. I love the idea of like getting her back and reversing time and doing all that stuff. Like
wait, what movie are we talking about?
Isn't
the girlfriend died in a car?
Is that
Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange? Have you
Doctor
ever seen
Strange girlfriend didn't die in the car.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
At the beginning of the first movie, right?
He just messed his hand up. He was by himself. He was talking on the speakerphone.
wasn't
What
he
movie
with-
you guys watching?
The what if has really screwed us up.
Is that messing me up?
Yeah.
Is it
Wait,
What
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's why it sounded
Different
so
one.
familiar, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
If? Okay.
Yeah,
Now
like,
I'm
what is
screwed
she
up.
talking
So we'll
about?
cut that.
Why should we?
So
cut
even
that?
even a cartoon one is hot, is what she's saying.
What if
Yeah.
she's all jacked up?
I know, but you all went along with it.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
think
was
that's
just-
good to keep
no, I
in. We
was
want
here
to show
like-
the people that we're just
Lonnie's
like
the only
everyone
one
else.
that kept it
We
straight.
put our pants on one leg at a time, but then
But
talk
because we're
Disney.
successful podcast hosts, when we put on our pants, they're golden pants.
All right, Carly, what is your second favorite Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe movie? Good Lord, I can't talk.